welcome everybody. This is our first podcast for Soft UK. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you find them useful and we look forward to having you listen to all of them in this series. This first podcast is going to be an introduction to Soft UK, how it all got started, how we help families that are going through, people that have been affected by trisomy. And I've got Juliette Bradley here with me to shed some light on that. Juliette is a trustee for Soft UK. She joined recently this year, but she's been involved with Soft UK for many years with her own personal experience and as a volunteer. So thank you so much, Juliette, for being with us.
Thank you, Sonia. Hi, Sonia.
So let's just get started. It'd be great if you can give us a little bit more information about yourself and your little girl and how you got yourself involved into Soft from the start.
Yeah, that's fine. So I got involved with Soft. My first born child was Amelia in 2010. It was a shock diagnosis. We didn't know, it wasn't picked up in pregnancy, that she had trisomy 18, which is Edwards syndrome known as. So she did survive for 2 weeks and it was amazing. We had a really lovely time, family time, took photos and everything. Unfortunately, too many heart problems that she couldn't survive longer. And then at the hospital at the time, I was given Soft information. But I think I was just grieving, me and my husband were grieving, didn't get in touch straight away. So I think it was probably a year or so I went back to Soft and just found them amazing, had really good support. They put me in touch with people that had been through the same thing as me, which was really nice because you feel really alone when you get a diagnosis. So
Yes.
Just really, really lovely. And then I went back to, I think, grief and bereavement took a few years. And then when I felt ready, I've then become a volunteer for Soft, and I've been volunteering for about 5 or 6 years now, which I really enjoy. And, as a volunteer for Soft, there's a volunteer team, obviously, and we can support people in pregnancy, through termination, if they need that, through afterwards, through if the baby still survives, obviously, and obviously with bereavement as well. So there's quite a broad range that we support with. So, yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and then become a trustee after that, really, got involved more. So Soft was set up in 1991. And it was set up mainly because there were a lot of families out there that didn't know that had babies with trisomy 13, which is PATU, or trisomy 18, which is Edwards syndrome. And basically both of those disorders means you have an extra gene. So usually you would have a pair of genes, and with tri, it means 3. So you get an extra gene, which is the trisomy. So it was set up basically because a lot of families didn't have the support. So that's why it was initially set up. And obviously it's expanded constantly. We've got really good support advisors. We've got professionals involved. We've been involved with training packages as well. And there's obviously the Facebook page and the meetings and everything for families. So it's to support families and health professionals and obviously friends as well of the families that go through the diagnosis of trisomy 13 or 18.
Yeah, also as the charities become more visual, we've also been able to do other things. So part of my role at Soft UK is a communications officer. So I've been brought on to try and keep Soft UK out there on social media and joining other partners in the charity sector that research genetic disorders and keep ourselves sort of in line with them as well. So we can reach out to more people and more families that may not have heard of us, because you were luckily been given information about Soft UK from your hospital, but not every family is, are they? I mean, I was, but I know a lot of families that don't get Soft UK approach to them. So hoping that those families will find us on their own or trying to get ourselves out there. And Facebook is a really good tool for that. I mean, a lot of people use Facebook, having the private group that we have set up, which is quite informal. So families can talk about anything and everything, can, ask for help and advice, and as well, especially when they've been given a diagnosis and you have no idea what you're dealing with. I mean, it can be very overwhelming, can't it?
It can, exactly. And you do feel very alone, don't you? And it's more about emotional support as well, and people being there to listen to you and to get advice as well. And people are going through similar situations. Everyone's individual, obviously. Every situation's individual. And that's the thing with trisomy, with 13 and 18, with Edwards and PATU, that, each child is affected in different ways. I mean, there are the main sort of categories they could be affected, but it's very individualised. And that's why Soft is so good, because we try and tailor the support to help the families, the professionals and anyone else involved, to sort of individual to the child, whether they knew they were going to have a baby with trisomy or whether they got diagnosed early on in pregnancy, really. So I think that's what's really good about SOFT, is it's got the broad range of things, hasn't it? Very diverse.
Yeah, and I think its biggest unique selling point is the fact that it is for families, run by families. So like yourself, you've got your own experience to share, and like me as well, I've got my own experience to share, and got ourselves more involved when we're at a point in our lives where we're ready to share it, and hopefully that helps other families as well.
Yeah, and people can help in all sorts of ways. I mean, my husband helps as well. He does the website stuff for SOFT. I started volunteering, and then my husband was like, oh, well, I could help in that way. So, any way that people can help, whether it's reading for us or proofreading or doing social media, anything really that it could help with, it's brilliant for SOFT. So we appreciate all help from all people involved, really.
We also run family events, and I think that's where I first got more involved with SOFT, because I came to the one of the family events, which gets everybody together. And I was so shocked to see how many families were there, in the same position as me, or in different positions, but just from a trisomy family. Because like you said, it's a very isolated experience, and you feel like you are alone. And then
that's where I first met you many years ago, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
You can make contacts, you can make friends, or it might just be that you just have a chat that day and just talk about your experiences. And it's like you said, to feel that other people, you're not alone, and that's really important. And that's what SOFT is about. It's about supporting people, so they know they're not alone. There is a lot of us that unfortunately go through this situation. So trisomy is, after Down syndrome, which is the common one that everyone knows about, which is trisomy 21. Edwards, which is trisomy 18, is the second commonest, and then and then Patu's the third. So actually, even though people haven't heard about it, it actually happens a lot. It occurs a lot, and that's I think that's something now that we're getting out with the information with SOFT, by promoting and getting into hospitals with health professionals.
Yeah, we've run a lot of research projects in the past. We've recently just launched the NHS NIPT testing in the NHS Scotland, so that the NIPT testing is available now on the NHS for testing of trisomy 13 and 18, and not just Down syndrome. And hopefully in the future we'll be able to bring that into England as well.
Definitely. And I think that is needed. I didn't have that test. I wasn't,
no,
too many years ago for me. I don't know if it would have changed how I felt if I found out I was pregnant with Amelia with Edwards. I don't know. But I think it's nice that families can now have the opportunity to discuss how they feel about everything beforehand.
And as long as they've got all of the information they need. We're also trying to expand regionally, so we do have a Scotland community and a Northern Ireland community, and we try and reach out to anyone in Wales. England is just so vast, but there's so many families all over, and we have like little pockets. And so the other thing we've been doing is the family calls during the pandemic. So for any families that do feel isolated, or we haven't been able to connect them face to face, they've been quite popular.
Yeah, it's really important, isn't it? And as a volunteer, everyone that I get in touch with and other volunteers, we all say we've got experience, we've been through this in some way, we've been affected in some way, and I think that helps. And then it helps that person sort of know that then, like I said, not alone, and that we've all been through it in some way. I think that's an important bit of SOFT as well, that everyone involved has been affected in some way.
So what made you make the decision from going from a volunteer to a trustee?
Well, I just felt like I really wanted to get more involved with the charity. I feel like SOFT is getting more known now, than especially when 2010, when I first heard about it. And I really wanted to sort of help the charity, just to be involved in the whole process. And I just find it, it's really fascinating how a charity works anyway. And being a trustee, you're involved in more decisions, you're involved in more about the promotion of how we're getting SOFT out there. And like you said, about all the different researchers and everything. I'm just proud to be a member, a volunteer and a trustee of SOFT. And, that's something that I do say to people. And then people go, what's SOFT then? And then, you can start the conversation, don't you? So, that's a good thing. I think the more of us involved, then the better, really, then get the word of mouth out there.
Yeah, and you were predominantly a volunteer as a support volunteer. Tell us a little bit about what that involved.
Okay, so the inquiries line, it comes through on an email contact. We have like a little team that will first get the email. They respond within the 24 hours just to acknowledge that we've got the email and so that the person realises that we're in touch with them. And then they'll look at an appropriate volunteer to see who's available, who maybe has experience on topics, so say, for example, if it's pregnancy or bereavement or termination or baby alive. You know, we do lots of different support. So it could just literally be emotional support and someone to listen to. We don't give medical advice at all. We're not a medical advice line. It's just we are there to listen. It's about empathy. It's about listening and being there for the person, about signposting. You know, I've helped people in the past, and I know the other volunteers have, like, get in touch with like counsellors if they need to, get in touch with support groups in the local area. So we could have a bit of a research in that local area for that person.
Yeah.
They can go off and they could, or we could even approach, I've done that before, where I've approached a local area for someone and then, you know, got them involved that way. So it's a quite varied, you do get a lot of different inquiries. If they want obviously phone call support, we do offer that as well. So, but it mainly starts off as email support because it is a small team of volunteers, which we're trying to expand at the moment. So, you know, the more volunteers we get, the better. And we possibly might go on to a phone line in the future where we could, but obviously as we're all volunteers, we all obviously have family, other jobs and other things to do. So as much as we want to do it all the time, it is juggling everything, isn't it? So,
yeah, you get quite sucked into all of the projects we want to do, but it's just the time, isn't it? Again, I think that's something unique that Soft can offer, because it's something you're speaking to someone again who knows what they're talking about because they've gone through it themselves. And I think some people do like having that sort of personal touch to it.
About empathy, it's about support, it's about signposting, and just having that is real benefit to a lot of people. They don't realise they could talk, you know, they might want to talk to another family that's been through the same thing, so we can get in touch with them through Soft, you know, or they might want to just find out about local support groups or national groups. So it's a varied sort of support line, but it's getting busier, and that's good. Because that means that the Soft is getting out there and people know about it more, so that's a good thing. So the more we promote it and the more we are involved professionally as well with hospitals and, like you said, the blood tests and everything now as well, that really helps with the NHS. Yeah, it's just, and obviously we've got the Soft advisors as well, are professional people. So they know more about research and they come to our family days. Like you said, we have really good family days. And they come and talk about the research and everything to help other families and let them know as well, don't they? So that's really good. Just have a look at our website. If you are interested in volunteering, obviously get in touch. We would love that, because we always love any help whatsoever. If you need any support whatsoever, please do get in touch with us. And we will carry on doing our best to support everyone.
Perfect. And the website is www.soft.org.uk. Thank you so much, Juliette. Thank you for being a part of Soft.
Thank you, Sonia. See you soon.